Hello and welcome to another live stream. My name's Shane Olson and today we're going to be sculpting this fun little guy. I love his shapes. He has zero chin and it makes me laugh. So I'm going to go ahead and sculpt this guy. So I hope you're doing well today. And I usually get started by starting with a default sphere. And I like to scale it up pretty large because I like to use Sculptress Pro, and the subdivide size is based off of the hey Neil, is based off of the scale of the scene. So I like to scale that up quite a bit, and maybe just a little bit bigger. Let's see how it is compared to the ruler. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So this guy's head is very, very square, which I'm going to see if I can do it justice. But all right. I am going to get some music going. I was kind of throwing it together at the last minute. Neil, I changed the thumbnail just a little bit. Hey James, how long do you need to sculpt to be a professional? That's a good question that I don't have an answer to because it depends on so many different things. Like how fast you are at learning, how fast you are at getting better by practicing, that kind of stuff, and how well you take feedback. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, I hope you guys can't hear that music. Okay. And I don't want to kind of tell you my story too much because it was a different time. And I've been doing it for 25 years, and that's not how long it takes to become a professional. But that's how long I've been doing it. And I started out by doing polygon modeling, not sculpting. I mean, there is, you can consider it sculpting, but it's not the same. Okay, I'm just going to kind of bring this down. We'll use Move Infinite, turn on AccuCurve, and pull it up. But I just recently started a school. It's over at school.com. Neil just posted a link over on Twitter, or Twitch, sorry, Twitch, the other T. My music is too loud. Yeah, I've taught courses for the last, or I've had a course. It's actually a bundle of courses that I've taught for the last 8 years. It's called 3D Character Workshop. Over 2,000 students in there. And I've taught at a university and all sorts of different. My first course was on what is it called? Digital Tutors. If you guys remember that, it's now Pluralsight. That was when I first got started. Okay, his ear is so far back. But now I started a school. School's a platform for people that want to make a community first and courses second. So I moved everything over there. There's various different reasons, but yeah, the main one is just because I wanted a good community. I've been trying to find a good community for a long time, and I think I finally found one. It's really nice. Okay, I'm going to take this. This is subdivided. I'm going to hit apply. Then go down to geometry and apply the subdivision levels. So now it looks like this. And then I want to cut in the jawline just to give myself some predetermined measurements. It looks like I need to turn spotlight projection off. There we go. That's working now. Okay, and then back to Move Infinite. Move Infinite will shoot the movement all the way through the model, all the way through both sides, where Move will only move what the brush shape. If you think about the brush shape like a sphere instead of a disc, and think about how it moves behind that brush, that's kind of how it works. But you don't want to leave move infinite on for too long because it will kind of mess you up. Because since it shoots all the way through both sides, if you work with orthographic, it's going to work really well. Like if you snap to the side or to the front. But if you're turned a little bit and you use move infinite, you can see how it's moving over there? That's because it's shooting through both sides. And that's not what you want. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Lisa, I need to give you a comment on your Popeye. It's turned out pretty good. Okay, so I'm just gonna use gather actually, and kind of pinch this jawline together. Oh yeah, one more member to meet that. So we're almost at 500 members in our school. So this is my school. It's called the 3D Character Workshop, but it's on school.com/3DCW. If you go there, this is it. See, 499 members. It's free to join. And then I have 2 levels of paid tiers if you want more information, more training, that kind of stuff. It's been really fun. Have you been liking it, Lisa? Hope so. Okay, this is a little too hot. Let's see. Hot meaning the intensity on my smooth brush is a little too strong. Just going to smooth that down. He's got this itty bitty tiny little neck, which is hilarious. And I think I pulled the cranium. I let it go a little too high, so I want to pull this down. You know it? Nice. I think blocking out characters is a blast, especially when you understand the shapes. I feel like it kind of feels like a superpower. It feels like you can block out anything once you understand it. And hello from Italy. Hey Cami, how are you? If I missed you, sorry. I've been enjoying hanging out with Brad and sculpting in the Hangout. So we have, yeah, that's a lot. I was hanging out with him a little earlier, Neil. It's a lot of fun. We have a sculpting hangout that's over on Discord. I do have a little Discord that's connected because school works like it's like a forum, whereas Discord is like a chat, like a live chat and a live video thing. So I utilize both. I don't have everything on Discord because you can't host courses there, and it's hard to control who's in there. Like I can't see people's email, and they always use nicknames and stuff like that, so it's a little difficult. Turn on AccuCurve and get this ear pointy squared off like his head. Hello Layla, how are you? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just get started with Sculptress. Turn this on, go to Stroke, Sculptress Pro, turn adaptive size off, and then we should be off to the races. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Use this fill brush to kind of just build up, build up a cup back here. Oops, I still have AccuCurve turned on. I don't want points back here. Let's see, detail. Kind of want to cut that in. I like making a little kind of an ear cup back here. I can turn the intensity up. I'm going to save this. Let's move it over here. Let's see. Alphabetical order. I'll call him No Chin. Feller 01. Let's see, I've really been enjoying all your blockouts, Lisa. I did my Pink Panther and then got stuck on choosing one, so I'm going to end up through that site you shared for iconic characters. Oh yeah, Cami, that's a good idea. We should I should actually link that. I can make a new lesson inside the course and actually just kind of link it in there or on that lesson itself. I need to, Lisa, I need to reach out to you and ask you where you found that, where it is, so we can add it. Because people have trouble finding concepts. Also, you can do the same thing with like Pokemon or something like that. Pokemon, Digimon, just they're simple characters. They're typically very spherical and primitive and simple. And Brad's kind of putting together a list of Pokemon, which is cool. Okay, actually his ear nubbin is lower. Ear nubbin. I said, Paul DC was streaming one time, and he was trying to describe what this thing is. And I said, it's an ear nubbin. It just made him laugh. I'm sure it has a technical name, but it's an ear nubbin. His is pretty big. Yeah, Brad's Mario's. Yep. Hey, Signor, how are you? I gotta show off those. Oh, there's a membership request pending. Julian, if you're watching, thank you. Here we go. We're gonna hit 500 students right now. Boom. Yay, 500 students. There it is. So if you go to the community, yeah, you can see I'm streaming live right now. I add it to my calendar. So you can go to the calendar and see different events happening, and I add my live stream. But if you go down here, yeah, Brad's been doing these awesome Mario guys. They're so fun. Yeah. Really, really good. And then, yeah, Brad's done a bunch, but here's another one. I love the offset eyes. Hey, Brad, how are you? I'm showing off your stuff, man. Oh, so good. I love the material, how it looks like vinyl, and then like these scribbles are hand done. It's so good. So good. We just hit 500, Brad. Oh yeah, Neil, I just made one. Okay. But there's been some great activity. I don't think I've ever had a community with as much activity as what's going on in the school. So would you agree with that, Brad? And I'm not talking about the off topic in Discord either. Watching, thank you so much. I'm a beginner, finding spaces to learn more about 3D. Nice. Okay, now that we have this ear, his ear is so low, I love it. So I think I'm gonna put it down here, really close to his jaw. Nice, Cammy, that's great. Yeah, it's so fun. Okay. I don't remember that my name here is different. It's El Gushin. But hello, Julian. Okay. Getting sidetracked. All right. He's got this. This is going to be fun because he's got this really, really fun like jawbones and cheekbones and huge eyeballs with these a little bit of an inset right here. I love this guy's art. Okay. I want to cut in the jaw a little more. Actually, I'm going to invert this. Hey, DeWinster, how's it going? Actually, I'm going to hide the ears just so I can get in here better. I'm going to use pinch brush. Just pinch this edge and this edge. Okay, that's a little better with that jaw, just kind of kicking up right there. Okay, let's get his eyes in place so we can react to it. I think his head is too short now that we got the ears in there. So I'm going to mask this off and then blur it a lot. Invert it, reset the gizmo, and just pull it up taller. I kind of want to shrink it down too. So I'm going to turn off symmetry, center the gizmo, and then bring it up here, turn symmetry back on, and then scale it down just to kind of taper the whole head up like this. Come on, hide. There we go. And then I want to use H polish to flatten the side a little bit, just subtly. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see it when I turn. And then I'll add the gauntness to it a little bit later. But I wanted to start to get that really square shape going on. And then this is a little too curved for my taste. Okay, there we go. All right, I want to see if I can mess with the skin tone just a little bit. This guy, he has some darkish skin. Let me here. Let me hide this. Where is it? I had it open, then I lost it. Let me go find it again. So I can show you guys the whole thing. Okay, so this is the reference I'm using. Muhammad Art, that's the name of his YouTube channel. And I love how he takes these image references and then makes a whole character, dresses them. It just gives him a personality that's really, really great. And I love how he does the front and the side view breakdowns. But see how his jaw line, like the cheekbone comes down and then goes down, like his lower jaw is lower than this jaw line right here, which is awesome. It's like a dog or something, like it just hangs down. And this big nose is just yeah, we're gonna have some fun with it. So that's what I'm looking at on the second monitor. You can see he's got a little bit darker skin tone. We're going to try and get that. So good. So good. I wish I could commission him for some stuff. Okay, I'm just kind of running Sculptress Pro over the whole thing just to kind of give it an even density. It's pretty dense, but I think we're good. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I was gonna, because this white, when it's just white, it's kind of hard to see. So I was just gonna add a darker skin tone here. Something, I don't want to go too orange. Let's see it on the thing. That's not bad. Yeah, that's I'm happy with that, I think. And then I'll do some highlights and shadows and things like that and just kind of even it out. But for the most part, the only reason I added this color is so I could see the light and shadows a little bit easier. Hey Andrew, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Okay. And I remember Ben Eblin doing a really cool design with some big eyelided characters like that. So I'm just gonna get a really big brush and try and drag the eye sockets in. I want it to come kind of straight down and then have his muzzle out here. I'm just going to try and work through. I'm not going to really get what I want until I get the eyes in there. But his brows are like, if you look at the slope from his forehead just kind of comes down and meets his eyebrows. So I need to get his eye sockets high enough that that's what happens. Something like this. Now I need to curve that slope down. So what's everybody working on today? Are you sculpting along with me? Are you working? I'm always curious to hear what people are doing. Are you sleeping? A lot of people say I have a calm, soothing voice like Bob Ross. So people fall asleep. Okay, let's see. The Wizard of Id. That's right. That's right. He's coming along really well. Okay, I'm going to change this to lighter, but not all the way white. Hey, Carius, how are you? Took a break from Tweety Bird. Ah, Tweety Bird, that sounds fun. You know, I think I'm going to reset this just to make sure. Okay, making his... I usually make the eyes a lot bigger than they think they should be. Split unmask points. Arrow down to select it. And then turn on dynamic subdivisions. And then I'm going to center the gizmo into the eyeball and just pull it in like this. Okay. And his upper eyelid extends up beyond his eye shape. So I'm going to make his eyes lower so it's going to give it plenty of room to make an eyelid in there. Okay, man, I love the shapes on this guy. They're really, really good. I just finished a pretty busy piece. Lots of stuff from the 80s. Oh, nice. A Commodore 64, vinyl toys, a whole room, and a cartoon version of myself in that period. Oh, I'd love to see it. Irish, watching your wonderful stream. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Hold on one second. Let me just answer. Okay. Just telling Peter I'm streaming. Okay. He's messaging me over in school and it's going off. Okay. So now I'm just going to kind of reveal the eye just a little bit more. Okay, and then I'll put his nose about right there. Okay, let's I'm going to take these eyes, duplicate them, and slice them. Sorry, mister, I gotta slice your eyeballs. But instead of slicing, I'm going to use the clip curve brush. That's more like a squash brush instead of a slice. And I like it because it takes all the geometry and smashes it up against this line. So see this line right here when I drag it out? After you select the clip curve brush, you hold down Control plus Shift on a PC, and then you can add spacebar to move it around. And I'm going to move it right to that center line, and it's going to take the faded side of the line, all the geometry, and squish it up there like that. Yep, clipping eyeballs. Okay, so you can see all this geometry. It's still nice and it has all the topology, but now it's squished. So I prefer to do that sometimes when I'm doing my my eyelids. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mask off the very bottom row so I don't accidentally mess it up. And then I'm going to invert the mask and then hold down Control and tap on the surface. And that's going to blur the mask up into there. Okay, the gather brush is just my personal pinch brush. I couldn't name it pinch because there's already a default brush in there named pinch. And if I named it pinch, it would override it and it wouldn't put it in there. So I had to name it something else. And I figured it's gathering the geometry together. That's kind of what it does. So yeah, this is a custom brush of mine. If you want these, I give these away for free over on my website. You can either go to 3dcharacterworkshop.com or school, like skool.com/3dcw and join the school, and they're free inside there. Okay, so I'm going to just pull these up, maybe like that. Okay, and then I'm going to pull them forward to clear. Let's clear this mask out. I think I'm going to move along normal. So there's this built-in tool in the gizmo. If you hover over this yellow square, you can see that it says Control to inflate. So I'm going to hold down Control and click on this yellow square, and then it will inflate it slightly. And that's just, it's basically moving them along normals. And now you can see that my eyelid has thickness like this. Thank you so much. I'll give it a try. Sure thing. So yeah, so just really quickly, this inflate brush, I just gave it a new icon. It's the same inflate brush that ships with ZBrush. Nothing new about that. This is like the damn standard brush, but I tweaked it so as you go around the, if you go fast around a corner, it doesn't make these slices like the traditional one does. Gather is like, that came from a Ma cut brush. Malachus the Black, who unfortunately has passed away, but he left us with this amazing brush called the Ma cut brush, and we call it Gather. The cloth brush, this is just kind of like a different standard brush. And then this is a fill brush. This is like the clay buildup, but it's very, very soft. It doesn't make all those little lines everywhere. And then this carve brush started out as an orb crack brush, but I tweaked it a little bit, and it sounds horrible. I tweaked it and then called it my own. But It's essentially what I use for hair and wrinkles and all sorts of stuff. And this scrape brush, this is kind of like the H polish brush, but it goes to flat instead of inverted. That's what that does. And then I have this insert primitive brush. And this just inserts a bunch of different primitives that I built over in Maya. Brought them over here. They're all made of quads. And then this is a new one. This is my key brush. So if you're into 3D printing specifically for resin, this key is what I use to key all of my my sculpts. So, and then I just have these two paint brushes, soft and hard paint brushes. What's the difference between inflate from center and scale all axes? So, yeah, if you just scale it from the center like this, it's just going to scale from that point out from everywhere. So if you have something hooked like a snake, like something curled, it's just going to move away from the center. And inflate is going to move everything like a balloon when it's being inflated, everything out from, like if you have a curve, it's also going to make that curve go out from itself. That's called move along normals. That's moving along whichever direction the faces are facing, not from the scale point, if that makes sense. That's a good question though. Now, I kind of want to make his eyelids purple. I really like the purple. So I don't think I can grab this purple color. I can. Okay, awesome. I'm going to go ahead and fill it with this purple color because I like it. There, purple. I might paint some of the skin tone into it just to kind of even it out, but yeah, I like it. Okay, I'm just going to kind of curve these up a little bit, and that will reveal his little pupils underneath when I get them there. And on this guy, he's got some lower eyelids, so usually I don't add lower eyelids unless it's an older gentleman like this. So I'm going to do it again, duplicate these eyeballs, select them. Then I'm going to use clip curve again, but this time I'm going to make the gradiated side of this line face upward and then clip it. I like to clip it right at the middle like this. And then again, we're going to do kind of rinse and repeat. Control to inflate. I'll just inflate it up like this. He looks like he's staring into your soul. Like, ooh, I hate you. Then we'll fill it with that purple, and then I'll bring it down. But I want these two to come together. Like this. I'm going to bring this lid kind of out. I want it to have more of a shelf. Like that. Same with this one. Just give it some thickness. Your eyelids are thicker than you think. Especially right at the tear line. Or the lash line, I guess. If, like, look at them in the mirror, they're quite thick. Okay. Now I'm going to do something with this, with the muzzle and the nose here. We'll add his nose first, and then we'll give him a, I'm going to save it. Boom. Okay. If you guys have any more questions, please let me know. That's a good question, Lisa. Okay. Let me think this through. Grab this sphere and just insert this nose. It always looks like a clown nose when I first insert it. Okay. See, now you might be tempted at this point to split it off from this one. And then subdivide it, or so you can turn on dynamic. But since this face and this ear is already full of Sculptress Pro data, I can just do that to this one too, and just smooth it into Sculptress Pro territory like this. That way I have enough geometry to continue to shape it and move it around. And pull it in like this. I'm going to go ahead and turn on, this is Sculpt strong or Smooth Stronger. Sculpt Stronger. And that just makes the smoothing go much quicker. Okay. I'm just kind of envisioning that mouth coming down. I like to just kind of give it a slight cavity. But when you do that, sometimes it makes this, gives it a straight edge. So I want to come back in here. And his is kind of curled up a little bit. So I'm going to curl it up like that. And then pull the center down, maybe to more of a point. And then smooth it down. And he doesn't really have much of a nostril. Like it's kind of just built into his nose. And there's two pieces. I kind of want to bring the nose forward. Let's see if I can isolate it. Bring it forward like this. And then I'm going to bring the face. You can see this kind of little bridge area right there. I'm going to bring the face out to meet the nose. Yeah, so like this. And then I can use this gather brush to just kind of go like this. And then I can invert the mask and use move and just pull the face out to meet the nose. And that's going to give me a crevice right behind his nostril to start that smile line. Have you ever intended to use a preset mesh for sculpting cartoon characters? Isn't it useful and a time saver for you? Yes, when I'm in production, like I've done a handful of characters for games like Disney Infinity, and I did a skin for Overwatch and stuff. And when I do that, I'm typically handed a base mesh. Like if I'm making a female that is similar to a female that I've made in the past, then I'll just grab a base mesh from that. But when I'm streaming like this, usually each face is different, and so I like to just start from scratch. And also, I don't really want to be influenced by by the base mesh, because that's you can easily be influenced by it, and then it will just look like that same character. Unintentionally, but it will. Okay, I'm going to take this nose and make it a little red. Reddish. Whoops, just the nose. And, well, I could do the ears too. They're the same poly group. But I'm going to mask these off and just go fill objects. I didn't mean to make a folder. There we go. Yeah, this guy's looking fun already. Okay, I'm going to save it. Okay, now I kind of want to give myself an idea of where I want to go from here. I think I want to put that muzzle in. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve some detail in the face like this, and then just kind of hook it like that. I'm going to do that again because I want it to come from behind the nostril a little better. Okay. Then going to insert, not red though, another sphere. Okay, let's see. Just going to pull it in here. I gave myself this line to follow, so I kind of want to fill this area. And again, I'm just going to Sculptris Pro fill this like this. I don't want to go too far out, just a bit. But see, it goes out past his nose, so it's like dook dook, and then so it is quite a ways out. Probably a little wider. But I just love how this guy has basically no chin. I don't want to move the nose that much, just this. And if you give yourself a guide, it'll kind of give yourself a channel that you can put this in. Okay. Looks like I pulled it too far out. I'll put that back. I thought it was in the, wasn't in the channel that much, but it is. And this kind of, you can see it kind of goes forward past his nose and then down. So I'm going to do that. Kind of kick it out and back. And then down at the bottom where his lips are going to be, it's kind of hooked. So I'm going to kind of give it a little bit of a jowl thing going on. You can kind of see this wrinkle jowl right there. So I'm going to grab the standard brush, which is BST. I don't have it on my interface. It's very similar to the cloth brush, which I could use, but it kind of works like an inflate. So I build it up and smooth it down, build it up, smooth it down. Then I can grab this detail brush and kind of cut in. Did any of you watch the ZBrush Summit by chance? I wasn't able to stream because they started it on the same day that I typically stream last week. Looks like a binky or something, or okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this piece. Let's see, take this piece. I'm gonna hide, not that. Hide the ears. Control W to put it in its own thing. I'm gonna separate this off. So I'm gonna say split hidden, and that's gonna put these, put the jaw. Oop, looks like the nose came along for the ride. That's okay. Let me do an auto masking or auto groups. I'll hide this 2 and say split hidden. Now the nose has its own. Okay, we're going to grab this. It's going to look really funny. I'm going to hit save again just in case. And then I'm going to duplicate this because I want an upper and a lower. And Nick Tyler, yeah, that's kind of why I picked it. It's really funny. Okay, so I'm going to grab this clip curve. And then I'm going to give it kind of a curve like this. Oh, funny. Okay. And then I'm going to do the opposite with this one. Okay, and I can turn on transparent, and it should show me. That's the upper. Oh, there it is. I can barely see it if I turn it. Okay. So I'm going to go like this. Come on, Alt. There we go. Yeah, his lower jaw's even thinner than this. So I'm going to take it and skinny it up. I really want it just like a little plate. Okay, but see this lip is really, really thin. The bottom middle full body pose. Oh yeah, yep, it's really good. Okay. Okay, that's too much. Turn this down. I'm just going to smooth this out and give it a roundness so it's not so sharp. There we go. And I'll pull this mouth inward. Okay. Cam, there's some warbles in here. I gotta, now that his mouth is in place, I'm gonna kind of just smooth out. I need to go a little, maybe a little stronger on the smoothness, but I'm gonna grab move and just kind of bring this in deeper. It's gonna cause, because I want a shadow back in there. I'm gonna give him some teeth too, because in some other poses, I might pose him in different poses. In other poses, he's got some awesome teeth. So yeah, this is the, again, this is the actual reference. See, look at all these teeth and look how thin his lower, his lower mouth is. And he's got this little thin, these thin lips that go along the edge too, which is great. So I gotta figure that out. And then I'm gonna add the gauntness in his face soon. That'll really dial it in, I think. Let's crank this intensity up again. And I'm just going to smooth this out. So funny. Okay. The account name, I found him on LinkedIn for goodness sakes. Let's see. So it's at Muhammad Art, but it's ARTT. There's two T's at the end. MAHMOUD _ ARTT. There you go. Thanks, Neil. So, yeah, he's on, he posts most of his stuff on LinkedIn. And he's got some really great stuff. Very well designed. That's, I had modeled one of his things, one of his designs a couple times ago. Okay, I kind of want to pull this forward. Okay, now let's pull the cheek out. And the gauntness in. Oh, so funny. And then forward. There we go. Really want to create that shadow. And I'm just using tiny little nudges with my move brush to do this. That keeps it nice and smooth and doesn't make a ton of warbles. Maybe pull this jawline out. Oh gosh. Okay, save it. I think his upper lip is this whole area is too tall. Now that I have everything in place, it needs to be shrunk down. So I'm going to shrink everything down. I think what I'm going to do is shrink this upper lip first, like in this direction, down, because it's like a scoop, like you said, a bird beak. And then pull. Okay, so do masking, but I want to grab his ear. Let's see. Okay, and then blur this. Blur, blur, blur. And then I want to pull. I do want that unmasked. Looks funny without his head. Okay, whoops. Why did that go away? I only want to undo this. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I want to take all this stuff, turn on the pizza boxes, clear it, and then select the pieces that I want. So this ear, this mouth, and this mouth. And then move the whole thing up. There we go. Oh, funny. And then that makes me want to pull his whole entire head up even more. Okay, I'm going to just kind of... But I like his eyes. I think I'm going to make his... Gosh, let me look. So what you can do to kind of test things is I'm going to turn on perspective, but I'm going to go down in focal length. And just kind of... He just might be too wide. I might need to bring his... That's what I need to do. Bring his eyes closer together and closer to his nose. I think that'll help. And then bring his ears a little bit more forward. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of talking to myself now. Okay, let's reset this. Turn on the pizza boxes, clear everything. And I want this, the lid, the bottom lid, and then just bring them closer together. Okay. It's kind of hard to see with that in that mode. And then get them closer by moving the actual head geometry closer to reveal more of the eyeball. Hey, 13 car 118. Hey, Snappy, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm going to take his ear and just shrink it slightly. Okay, I want to make sure I save it. Saving often, because there's this hidden crash that I don't know how I do it, but when I'm using Sculptris Pro, it just sometimes it just wants to crash, and I have not been able to reproduce it enough. Okay. I'm just going to give him just some temp teeth here. I'm just going to pop a cylinder in there. Just so he doesn't have a hollow, toothless mouth. I'm going to turn perspective back off so I can see what I'm doing. Shrink this down, turn on, whoops, let's turn this back off and split it first. Okay. 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 That's funny. All right. I'm going to bring his upper mouth down. Use move infinite to shoot through here and just kind of pull it down like this. I'm going to overlap it just so I can kind of get it to turn. I think what I'm going to do is combine the upper and the lower lips so I can build this little curvature out. So let's see, this is the bottom, this is the top. Merge down. There we go. Okay, so these are overlapping now, and I'm going to do a remesh by union. And that's located underneath the gizmo menu. So gizmo, go to this gear, click on remesh by union, and that will boolean these two things together. And then say accept, and then turn symmetry back on. And now these two things are stitched together. If you look close, they're kind of stitched. So what I can do is now I can just, with Sculptris Pro turned on, I can just smooth this out. The smoothing power is a little too hot, so I'm going to turn that down. Just kind of get rid of it. I'm learning ZBrush in school, and I also love sculpting stylized characters like this. The eyes always give me issues because they will be so big, they try to become one object. Yeah, Snappy, it happens for sure. What I find the best thing to do is just kind of block them in, let them combine if they're going to combine, and then just rebuild them at the end. That's what I tend to do, because it's like they're going to do what they're going to do, right? This looks like a Muppet mouth. Okay, B, C, no, that's BS. B, C. I want clay buildup. I hardly ever use clay buildup, but in this case, I want it, because I want to just build it up around this corner. And I think I want to go a little tighter with Sculptris, just to get a little more density here. Okay. Okay. That makes me laugh. You always know it's successful if it makes you giggle. So that's like when I'm doing a caricature and I start to see the person as I'm sculpting. It's like, oh, there you are, and it makes me laugh. Okay. Kind of trying to build this up and smooth it down. Now I'm switching to fill because that is a more subtle clay buildup brush, where you can see this valley right here. It's super subtle, but you can just slightly fill it and get that transition just looking sweet. Because sculpting is kind of like you're editing light, right? You're painting with light. Not really painting, but that's what I'm paying attention to, is how the light falls across the surface of whatever object. So I'm paying attention to like all these peaks and valleys and movements, and how the light falls. Okay. And I love how it has this little like hooked piece that goes like this. So I'm just gonna cut it in and then smooth it out. And get that transition to just kind of bleed out. Taper. Yep. And also, if you guys want to learn more about how I do things, I have like a ton of courses. I just barely made this thing called School. It's over on School. It's SKOOL, and I've moved my 3D character workshop over to School, and I've turned it into a membership. I know a lot of you don't like memberships, and I understand. So I've also offered each course as single purchase courses. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. I just added a brand new one teaching you how to prep models for 3D printing. But if you do get the membership, I feel like it's quite affordable. It's all of my courses for one monthly cost. It's pretty low right now. Okay, it's making me laugh. Okay. I'm going to pull his teeth in a little bit further, I think. And if you guys have any questions about it, let me know. Happy to answer them. But let me just show you super quick. So here's what it looks like. If you land on the About page, this is what it looks like. I need to make a better video and tell you what's in the course, but I'm going to tell you right now. So there's the community. It's very, very active. You can see lots and lots of people, tons of activity. We have 500 members as of today, which is awesome. If you go in the classroom, both actually. So this is the printing course, but I walk you through modeling this guy from start to finish. So if you go in here, this is what it looks like. Keep track of your how you're doing, and you can see there's FDM printing. This is a Bamboo Labs. One of my students named Wexter was kind enough to make a how to prep and print on an FDM printer with this guy, and I have another one coming soon from it's from Derek from Lychee Slicer, and he is teaching how to prep for resin printing and how to clean it up and everything. So that's coming. And you can see that I take you all the way through. There's keying and slicing and posing. I pose it twice, show you how to make the base for it. Yeah, so you can see the base right here. Let me see. I'm gonna pause or turn off the sound. Not that it'll matter, but you can see this is what it looks like. Yeah, so I teach you how to put everything in folders and how to cut it all and do everything. So it's pretty good. Yep, and it has a fantastic community that comes along with it. So this is the original 3D character workshop. It's just a handful of exercises talking about stylized anatomy, how to block out your characters, starting with Saturday morning cartoon characters. This one is some nomad training. This one is, both of these are game characters. This one is my original course. This is the one I first launched with 8 years ago. So it's in ZBrush 4R6. It's old, but the concepts are sound. I still use the workflow today. The only difference is I talk about Dynamesh, and now I use Sculptris Pro. That's like the biggest difference. But I teach you how to do retopology, UVs, everything, how to bake maps, everything. And in this one, I teach you how to do the textures inside of Substance. So you can use that new pack where ZBrush comes with Substance, and then go through this and learn how to use it. But these are my free brushes right here. And these ones aren't available yet, but there's some resources. There's a little fun sculpt along. I still need to do the thumbnails for this, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then you get this calendar. You can see these really awesome Sculpt together and Sculpt hangouts. Here, I'll put it in this one like this. So right now you can see this is my Maxon live stream. That's what you're watching right now. And then there's some Hangouts. And this is a weekly live call for my mentor students. I have a different tier, a higher tier if you want feedback every single week. That's what that is. And the members, what's cool is this map, and you can see all the people in here and where they're from within 10 miles. So it doesn't reveal exactly where you are. It just kind of lets people know like where-ish you are, which is awesome. And you can turn that off if you want more privacy, but it's super cool. And then there's leaderboards. You can see how everybody's doing, and you can unlock things by going through the leaderboards. Like right now I have the space girl. Once you get to level 2, you unlock the space girl, and you can watch that. So anyway, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Come hang out with us. Shane's course basically taught me everything I know. Holy cow, thank you so much. Yeah, it's all these brushes down here. And my ruler file too. So the scaling inside of ZBrush is no longer a mystery. Like it comes with this ruler right here. And as long as you don't touch the ruler, like don't scale the ruler or anything, scale your model to the ruler, then you'll be real world scale when you go to print something out. Okay, let's see. Let's keep going. I think this guy is getting there. I think I do want to pull the top of his head up more. And then pull his eyelids up a little bit more. Okay. And then let's give him some eyebrows, shall we? Got kind of this melancholy look about him. Pretty funny. Then we use this topology brush, turn off Sculptors Pro, save it. Save your work, kids. Okay, I'm just gonna use this topology brush to draw some eyebrows in here. Then clear it, and then add some thickness. Just as easy as that. I'm actually going to grab this masked brownish color. We'll take it a little darker. Fill them. And then we'll split it. Split unmasked points to give us our eyebrows. Morning. How's it going, Vampire? Okay, I'm going to turn on dynamic and then turn off creases. Maybe inflate. Okay. I'm going to bring them down just a little bit. So they ride right along that edge. Does the ruler work after the fact? Like, can I bring a tool into your file and be able to scale it using your ruler? Absolutely, Lisa. So as long as you scale your model to the ruler, not vice versa. So what I'll typically do, like say I wanted to scale this guy, and I had my ruler file open, okay, and I wanted to scale him, it looks like a head on a stick. I wanted to scale him to the ruler. What I usually do is I grab the ruler subtool, I mask it off like this. Okay, why aren't you masking off? Okay, there we go. And then I will grab this gizmo, send it home, and then reset it like this. And then turn on these pizza boxes, and then clear everything so everything is showing, and make sure every subtool is showing. And then scale it all together. So you can scale it down. See, my eyebrows are masked. It respects masking. So I need to clear the mask on those eyebrows. That's what I had selected when I was trying to mask the ruler. Okay, so see, then I can scale it all the way down, and I have some markings on here, like the average male height, like here. So I could put the top of his head at the average male height right here, like that. I'd probably shrink his head a little bit more, but what I would do now is when he's scaled is with this ruler selected, I can now go to my 3D print hub right here. I go over all this in my course, by the way. So if you want to check out the course, but basically this ruler is in millimeters. Okay. There's centimeters, but these little tiny ticks, you can see it's in millimeters. Okay. So what you want to do is switch this to millimeters if it's not, and then you, this ruler is going to create a bounding box. So you don't want to have any of your model pieces sticking above or below the ruler. If you have a model that is taller than 200 millimeters, just duplicate the ruler and slide a second ruler up, right? And so then it's 400 millimeters, and then have your model within those rulers. That's how I do it. So, but usually my characters are within the size of this ruler. And then what you want to do is just move this slider. It'll snap the first time you move it, and then move it again, and now it'll kind of release, and then you just type 200 in there, and that's the size. And then you go export options, change it to visible right here, and then you hit export STL, and it will export every subtool relative to the size of this ruler. You have to have the ruler selected, not anything else, or it'll mess it up. So ruler selected, change this to 200, hit export STL, and it will export it real world size. It's precise. The precision is precise, like down to the micromillimeter when you do that. So anyway, that's how you can scale your stuff, whether it's FDM or resin or whatever you want. That's how you scale it. Okay, I'm going to undo that and make his head back to big because I use Sculptress Pro and it's based off of scene size. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully. Sometimes people's eyes glaze over when I try to explain that stuff. To my classes because we're prepping to print our finals in resin. There you go. Have them all join the school. It's free. It's free to join. And if they want to upgrade to the premium level, it's only $27 a month right now. It could change later. And if you subscribe and stay subscribed, the price stays. Even if it goes up, yours will stay. Squish this down. What I like to do with these pupils is I like to have them sticking out, but just kind of go right to the edge of where it curls underneath. Still think you should print and paint your ruler? Oh, emboss the ticks? Like I haven't actually, I did it once, but I should. Okay, I'm gonna get, they're about right there. Oh my gosh. Okay. That gives him all the personality in the world. So much fun. He's just like, what are you saying? Okay, I need to make the backs of his eyelids higher than the fronts. I missed that portion. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to use these pieces of geometry to then create the lashes. Yeah, there's Snappy, there's a lot of professional studios that use my ruler all the time. They tell me it's pretty fun. Okay. Happy to help. Okay, so I want to, well, I'm trying to decide, because I was thinking about using this row of polygons to create an eyelash line right along here. I think I will. Yeah, okay, let's just duplicate it and I'll show you how I would do it. but I don't want it this thick, so I'm going to go in with Z Modeler brush and just insert an edge right here. And then if I select this select lasso brush, I can hold down Control plus Shift on an edge, and it will hide everything, or it'll hide that line of polys. And then if I invert that, you'll see it right here. And then I'm just going to hit delete hidden. So the rest of it's gone now. I'm going to turn on double so we can see the whole thing. I don't need all of it. We'll turn this on. Okay, so it wraps all the way around that eyelid. I'm trying to decide if I care or not. I usually cut it off inside the head, but for now I'm just going to leave it. And then see what it said, extrude a poly. I'm going to push space bar and click on, see it says extrude and then a single poly. I want to go to poly group all because I want to extrude the whole thing. Just move the whole thing out like this. Then hit D for dynamic subdivisions. And then fill it with this color. And there we go. He's got his lashes. And when you get thick lashes like this, they 3D print quite well. You'd be surprised. Let's add dynamic subdivisions to that. But I'm going to pull them down just a little bit and in. Just so they're not, you don't want it looking too feminine. Okay. And then he had this little, this little pencil line. Well, he's got a little pencil line mustache, but he also has this pencil line like lips. So I kind of want to see what I can do with that. I'm going to do BHP, which is H polish. And then just run along this ridge line and flatten it out. Just to give him this little pencil line lip. Okay, it's kind of hard not to make it warbly. Get a little bit bigger brush. Okay, that's good enough, I think. I want it to be a little bit narrow in the middle. And then do the same on the bottom, but even skinnier. Okay, maybe if I add more detail. I'm going to turn the power of this subdivisions down, or the dynamic down, but because I'm just filling it with density just so it doesn't have these like crunchy edges, I call them. Okay. I'm going to take this color, change to my soft paint brush, turn off Sculptress Pro, crank up the color intensity, and then select these ears and just redden them up a bit to give him a little more warmth. And let's do the same thing with his head. Just redden up his cheeks here. Just to blend that nose in a little bit so it's not such a clown nose. That's a good tip. It would have been fighting with the gather brush, grabbing too much from the top and bottom. Yeah, the gather brush does not get along well with neighbors. Come on, let's select this. There we go. Gonna kind of put a little gradient down underneath his nose. I'm gonna go a little darker and fake a little bit of ambient occlusion underneath here. And down here. And underneath, I'm going to add some blue. blue purple down here. Kind of give him a little tiny bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. Same with this. Come on, grab it, grab it, grab it, grab it. There it goes. Sometimes the alt click doesn't switch. Okay, and then, hey Stylized Senzu, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. And then I like to come back with the skin tone and just kind of paint back over it to push what I just did back down into the skin. Okay. I'm going to shape his ears just a little bit differently. Turn on topological so I don't accidentally move the head. Okay, there we go. I want to bring this, make this the farthest out point like this, and just kind of have it. It almost looks like it's clipped off. And I want to make that ear nubbin bigger. It's got a unique shape to it. Kind of goes out and then up and then down. That's pretty funny. Ear nubbin. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. Okay, I want to push this in, but not too far. Now, I kind of want to try with the skin tone. Well, let's see what happens if I do. I'm going to grab this purple. Maybe go a little darker with it. And then just paint it on the inside of this eye cavity here, almost like ambient occlusion. And it looks like he's got eyeshadow now. And then grab the skin color and push it back in. Oh, another save, thanks. Okay, because I want it mostly skin color with just a little hint of darkness in there. That works. Okay, let's see that. Thanks, Neil. Okay. Okay, I just seen something that I need to fix. So if you look at the far side of his face, see how it comes straight down and then kicks out to his cheek and then back down in. So if I turn this, I can put it in perspective. You can see that this is a little too far out. So I'm going to push this back to make it straighter and kick back out to the chin. Sometimes it's hard to grab it. And then kick this down in. There we go. So funny. All right, I'm going to kind of block out some hair. What time we got? About 30 minutes. Okay. Yeah, let's give him some hair. At least block it out. We'll do a split unmask point. I'm going to turn Sculptress back on. We'll just sink this into the head. You know, I'm thinking about doing a mask extract, but I don't think I want to. And I made the Sculptress too dense. That's better. I just need light to start with. Pull it clear out here. The reason I was thinking about doing a mask extract is because I really like the head shape and I don't want to lose it. So if I do a mask extract, it just kind of starts with the head shape and goes from there. But I can smooth it down to make his head kind of show through the hair and then bring it back out. Yeah, see that? You know, I could even do a projection. Geartree, hello, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to try and get this right next to the head so the projection envelope will catch it. It's okay if some of it shows through. That's what I want. I'm just getting it really close because there's the projection envelope is very, very close to the head here. Okay, so now I'm just going to go project all, but I don't want color. I just want the geometry. See, now it just snaps right to the head. And now I have it on the shape of the head, and now I can just use this control to inflate it out slightly like this. And that's what I want. Now I have the head shape. Kind of a cheaty little cheatermason. Turn up Sculptress a little bit more. And then we can pull this back out. We met at Lightbox a couple years ago. Your courses helped me pull through graduation. Thank you so much again. Oh, awesome. That's great to hear. What is going on? Just grab it. Why is it going that way? Oh, I got the head. That's why. I accidentally grabbed the head. I'm going to snag that comment if you don't mind. I love it. I always try. I need more testimonials, you know? Thank you very much. Why are his ears lower than his eyes? It's just the design, you know? Breaking the rules. Hey M2000, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Okay, so now that we have everything close, what I like to do, okay, is I'm going to turn off symmetry here in a minute, but for the sides, I'm just going to take this carve brush and just kind of carve it into the surface, revealing the skin underneath it. And just kind of build it up. I didn't, yeah, it has been a while. I haven't been to Lightbox for a while too. Were you there the year I had a booth? And this is just a block out that I'm doing right now. I'll probably do something different later on. I'm just trying to get it to work here. Go a little higher on the density here. I still have my booth. I just haven't been back. Yeah, the return on investment wasn't quite worth it for me. Okay, so with these, I think I'll do a pointy one in the middle. Let's do that one again. It's going to be kind of weird. Turn off symmetry and pull them out. Maybe snake hook. Again, this is just a block out. It looks totally ugly right now. This is just a tribute. This isn't the greatest sculpted hair in the world. It's just a tribute. We were walking in Artist Alley and I just hear your voice, the crowd, and then I was like, oh my God, I think it's me. I walked up to you. That's funny. It's funny when you hear somebody online and then you hear them in person, you're like, hey, it's that person. Okay, that's kind of a weird splotchy hair, but hey, it's there. So I was waiting for somebody to get it. This is not the greatest hair in the world. It's just a tribute. It's actually the worst hair in the world. It's not cooperating with me very well. This is the only time I get nervous is when like streaming, because a lot of people get nervous streaming, you know? And I usually don't until something isn't working the way I want it to work. And then it's almost like I flush and get embarrassed. Because I'm like, this should be working and it's not. What's going on? Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna try something with the color of these eyes. I just kind of wanted to bring the skin tone in. I don't think I like it. I was just going to kind of blend it into the skin a little bit, but I don't like it. I tried it, didn't like it. Okay, I'm going to try something else. Maybe a dark purple. Okay, that's cool. That's what I like. Okay, then I'll grab this bottom. There we go. That's fun. Okay. Okay, let's give him his little neck. Okay. You know what's funny is I keep looking up at this other monitor because I can see what you guys see. And my Cintiq is like leaning down at a 45-degree angle. So the way I look at it, it looks shorter than it actually is. So I have to look up there and see what it really is. Or I have to put my monitor straight up and down, which makes my arms tired. So, which I don't like doing too much. All right. Let's give him a little neck. Little neck. Let's save it. Nope, that's not what I want. Save. I want it to snap. Okay. Haven't heard this song for a while. I'm listening to Spotify right now. I like to listen to old 80s music. I'm listening to The Politics Are Dancing. The politics are ooh, feeling good. But they're really not. It's a lie. Politics are not feeling good. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. Sculptus Pro again to smooth this out. It's like a golf tee. I still remember the community Google day where you'd upload our art. It was really cool, like a forum, but different. Dude, I admit that was my favorite, honestly. So if you guys remember Google Plus, it was kind of like a Facebook, but not really. It was like a big board of images. And yeah, that was my favorite. I wish I still had that, honestly. that was the best. But since then, I've gone through so many different communities, and the closest thing I've found to it was a forum called Discourse, and that's what ZBrush Central is running on, is Discourse. It was pretty cool, but I had to pay somebody to program it and make it be the way I want it to be. And it was very expensive. Expensive to program, expensive to maintain. It was just a lot of money all the way around. And then it didn't do everything I wanted it to do. So like no courses were included in it. So I had to move along. But yeah, that one was cool. When sculpting, I've been listening to Thievery Corporation. Oh, I love Massive Attack. I love Massive Attack. I don't think I've listened to Thievery Corporation. I'm going to check it out. If you like Massive Attack, it should be good. Is it on Spotify? Oh, there it is. This is Thievery Corporation. All right, let's check it out. I'll tell you what I think. Sounds Middle Eastern. Well, it's called Lebanese Blonde, but cool. Always open for new music. Let's see, what color should his shirt be? Maybe like a cream? Maybe. I'm not sure yet. And I also listen to a lot of 80s sounding music, like it's called synth pop, or what is it called? Synthwave. That's right, synthwave. I like that a lot. Let's grab the clip curve and cut it off here. Okay. Found out about Thievery from a DreamWorks Modeler's reel. It was full of NURBS models. Oh, that makes me laugh because I swear DreamWorks was last to the table on giving up NURBS. I think they probably still use NURBS. Which is fine. It hasn't thwarted their success at all. Story matters, right? Not how things are done. I kind of, 3D Studio Max had these things called patches back in the day, and those were the closest things to NURBS. And I actually contributed to a book on how to sculpt with patches way back in the day. And patches, they were just a big patch of polygons that you could manipulate with these little Boolean curves on the edges, on the corners. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of like NURBS. Okay. Kind of reminds me of Sade. This song anyway. Okay, I'm gonna get just kind of a pseudo collar in there. Just block it in. I can show you a trick with a collar if you guys want to see it. So if I use a cylinder primitive, put it in here. I just clipped the bottom of this off and it didn't really clip because I had the hair selected. Okay, I'm going to split on MS points, arrow down. Let me save this. Okay. And just kind of put it where I think the collar should be, something like this, about as tall as it is. Okay, I'm going to solo this and then do a group by normals, which is going to group the top, the bottom, and leave the sides alone. Grab the Z modeler brush, insert an edge loop about the middle, and then delete the top and the bottom. Bye-bye. And then I'm going to turn on double. And then you delete the hole that's in the front. So if I snap this to the front, just kind of go like this. That's not what I want. This. Hide those, delete them. Okay. And then just start to shape it. Be like, to be collar-like. Okay, so this is the trick. Kind of scale this down closer to the neck. And then mask everything off except for this top rail. And put my gizmo up there. Let me get it centered. Looks a little off center. There we go. And then scale it out. Pull it down. Look at that. What does that look like? A collar. Just kind of bring it up like this. And then I can turn on dynamic subdivisions and then give it thickness. Whoop. Okay, so yeah, witchcraft. Okay, before I do that, I want it to curl a little less sharp. It's very sharp. So I'm going to clear that mask, do the Z modeler brush, insert an edge like right here. You know, if you increase your Z intensity up here to like an 11 or something, when you insert an edge, we'll actually add an offset. It looks like it's offsetting to the inside because it's flipped. So I'm going to flip the normals. If I turn double off, see it's facing towards the inside. I have flip right here. I'm just going to flip it. There we go. So now when I'm going to increase this to like a 24. See how it like pushed it out along its normal? I'm going to crank it even more. There we go. That way I don't have to like move along normals. I can just, it's all in one go. And then maybe put one on the inside, maybe not so much. Turn that down. Just so I can slightly curl it in. So now it's not such a harsh angle. And now I can just go in here and do an extrude polygroup all like this. And I want these corners sharp. That's why I just did what I did. And so now I can turn on dynamic and turn off thickness. But see how they're not sharp? So I'm going to go through and just crease these edges. So I'm going to go crease polygroups right here. I'm going to turn it down to a 2. Crease polygroups. And then I'm going to manually crease these. So crease, edge. Right there. Okay, and then let's solo it and crease on the inside right there. Now when I subdivide it, it should hold its crease for the most part. It's not completely because it's set to a level 2. Then I'm going to crank this to a 4. And now it gives us a nice smooth curve. If I change the edge crease level, oh, it's set to a 1, that's why. 2 is better. See? It's even closer. If I go to a 3, it's going to be even sharper like that. Which isn't bad, but it doesn't look like cloth, right? So I'm going to pop that back down to a 2. And there we go. And then we can scale this down even more, lift it up, scale it height-wise. Anyway, collar. Nice and clean. Nice and clean. And bring this together. And if you had a tie, I can put that in there, you know. Okay. All right, you guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. So just one last time, I invite you to join my school. That's skool.com. And I have lots and lots of ZBrush training over there. You can join it for free and then upgrade to the premium tier later when you're ready. But either way, there's free brushes over there. The link's in the description. And Neil just posted a link here. I'm going to grab that one and post it into YouTube. It'll go into both, I guess. So there you guys go. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Cami. It's good to see you too. Catch you and others back on school. Awesome. Can't wait to see you all over there. Tell your friends. Let's make it the awesomest place ever. Just hang out and sculpt and have fun. I always say that sculpting is therapy, right? It's like you just kind of get in that Zen mode and get lost and have fun and yeah, make your troubles go away and just make stuff. All right, you guys. Yeah, you too. Thanks for stopping by. And we'll see you all next time. Thank you. Take care. See ya.